Hello, welcome again to Don't Worry, Dad Will Fix It. Just to the tail end of this job really, I thought I'd just film it just to show just how it's, just a really basic thing, is just how to wire a plug. This is one of these hot air guns. What's happened with this is the plug has sort of become, the cord has become frayed at the end, and I've chopped off the old plug. So what I've started to do is I've got an old plug out there. Just check the fuse on it. It's got a 13 amp fuse. I think that should be enough to support this sort of 1800 watts here. So you need to have a relatively meaty fuse on this, on here. So what we're going to do is I've stripped back these wires. The tools you'll need are a decent set of wire clippers, also a decent set of wire strippers, also a flat blade screwdriver, and then sometimes you may need one of these, although I really recommend that if you want to cut back the main sort of sheathing around the cable, that you really try and clip in, like I've done here, into it using a sharp pair of wire cutters. And you can do this relatively easily by pressing in there, clipping down on this, and then really clipping at the end. So apologies I've not shown it in this. I just thought I'd sort of film the tail end of this just to show you how to finish wiring the plug. So I've unscrewed the top of the plug already. Just very importantly, you need to look for the N and the L on here. So N is for neutral, L is for live. Also, a lot of appliances have an earth, which is the E, which is the green and yellow cable. This appliance does not have an earth. This only has the live and the neutral. Please note the live is the brown cable and a neutral is the blue cable. In the UK, that is the standard that we have. It is always brown for live on an appliance and blue for neutral on an appliance. Wiring for the house is different, but we're not covering that in this video. Okay, so just folding these cables back. This is because the hole that this goes into on this plug, and if you can actually see this, it's not easy to see. The hole that this goes into on the plug is sort of larger than the cable itself, and so I'm just giving it enough room, so I'm folding it back. You don't have to worry about this earth or screwing anything into it. You just have to make sure it is back in place on the plug, so that it opens the ways. If you look on, this is an old plug actually, giving you a bit of a clue here on the neutral, that is blue. Just a bit of an aside there on that. So I don't like to, this is the strain relief. It's also quite important on a plug. It stops people pulling out the cable from the plug. So the strain relief here, we're going to feed this cable through the strain relief. Remember I don't know if you noticed here as well that I've actually shortened the live. The live is shorter than the neutral. That is because we've got some room on the neutral here. We can fold that. Back. There's got a bit more room there on that to put it round. Whereas the live is shorter. There's just less room in the plug for that. Okay, so let me just feed this through into the terminals, and I'll tighten it with a screwdriver. Okay, so the first one here, I'm just going to gently sort of feed the live in here. I may need to unscrew this even further, so I'm just going to take my flat blade screwdriver and I'm going to unscrew this. Apologies for the background noise. We have a dishwasher and we also have a Jack Russell who's doing his second crunch of the day. Don't know if you've ever had a Jack Russell before, but you may note that they never stop eating. It's just a constant graze. When they've realized that there's nothing else on offer anymore, they then resort to their bowls. Sorry, I digress a bit there. Okay, so I'm just going to create a bit more relief here on this one, on the neutral. Don't unscrew the screw the whole way, because sort of, things are going to fall on the floor and really annoy you, and then you won't find it. The screw. So I may not have done this properly in the first instance. I may lift it a bit long, but what we'll do is we'll push this neutral out a little bit just to make it a bit easier. Okay. Okay. bit more space in there. So it goes. I'm just trying to focus this. Apologies, guys. I'll focus this in here. Bit of relief there. There you go. Okay. Just tighten this here on that end. Folding it over just gives the screw a bit more sort of to bite onto as well. So that's apologies for the sort of brief interruption there. The door went, yet another parcel. Yeah, so I've screwed in the neutral and the live into the two terminals. See as well that the live is the one that's fused as well. That sort of gives you a hint there really as well that this is the live. But you know, generally you look for the L and the N. N is for neutral, N is blue, L is live, live is brown. So what we'll do now that these are in place, we're going to flip this plug over. Make sure you've got the outer insulation on the cable past the strain relief. And we're going to flip this over, hold it with our fingers, and just tighten the strain relief a little bit more on here, just to try and, or just to get a bite on the cable. The reason they don't want you pulling that out is if you pull it out, you know, it'll stop working. It's also quite dangerous. You really don't want. So that's why you have a strain relief. It's actually, I think it's a requirement of the plug to have a strain relief. Tighten this. Don't tighten it too much. Just tighten it enough so you can't pull out the cable. You know, easily. Tighten a bit more. It's not moving. That'll do the trick. Okay, so that's that. That's the plug done. Just put the cap on. These are called captive screws here. Actually, just unscrew it enough to take the cap off, but the screw stays in the plug, so it's quite handy. Especially for me now, I seem to drop in a lot of things. So let's clip back on again. And that's the end of that job. But yes, thank you very much for watching. Don't worry, Dad'll fix it. Bye for now.